All right, guys. So let's look at some match breakdowns of the training session I had today. I think we had eight opponents, and I rolled with each of them twice. So we got about 16 matches here. Obviously, some of them came to the finish quicker than the others. But what I'll try and do is explain some of my thought process here and some of the angles I used to finish, right? So let's look at the first opponent. So my first opponent is coming out. He's pressure passing very quickly. He's trying to establish headquarters. He's trying to get around the legs. I'm trying to keep my hips pretty low. And I want you to see here, he's actually got a pretty decent position. His hips have managed to stay low to the ground and square. So what looks like he's setting up a leg drag is he probably can't find that, but what he can find is the potential to step through to the saddle to attack a leg lock of his own. And you can sort of see the positioning of my leg on top of his shoulder here. It really does look like he's trying to set that up. So what you'll see I have to get my right hand as a good frame on his shoulder to push back and get some distance. So that way, if he did step over, he wouldn't be very deep. He wouldn't have good penetration on the saddle position here. There, so you can see the frame on the shoulder here is giving me some distance, right? So it's making him second guess his ability to step over into the saddle. Again, he's coming straight through for the headquarters position. But what I'm able to do to limit his headquarters here is keep my knee shield leg on top. So you can see my right leg is blocking his left hip here. You probably prefer to be stepping over that. I'm using my that knee shield leg as well to off-balance him here. So I'm always trying to off-balance my opponent with that right knee shield here. So especially in this position, I'm keeping it pretty high here. What I'm trying to do is keep that pressure on the shoulder, keep his weight on that side until I can get an underhook. So that's obviously going to make it very difficult for him to come back through for a cross knee pass because his weight is positioned on the wrong side. And you can see I've used the off-balancing with my right knee shield leg to get an underhook on his right leg. So we're starting now to work away underneath our opponent. And obviously you can see I've got a frame with my right arm here trying to keep him away from my chest. Obviously we want to minimize the ability for them to get chest to chest. It's going to shut down a lot of my attacks. Once I've been able to secure that underhook on the leg, I'm using my second hand to really secure a solid grip onto that leg of theirs. And I'm going to try and shift their weight back towards the other side here. And I've shifted my weight back. I've shifted their weight back by really turning my hips towards the sky, and I'm trying to drag their right leg on top of me here. I didn't have much success with that, so I've pummeled my right leg from the knee shield position under the butt. I'm going to be using that to elevate. I'm going to be trying to elevate my opponent's hips right above me here. And that's going to give us some opportunities to attack the legs. Obviously, when the hips are far away, our options are limited. When the hips are floating above us, we can really attack either leg here. So you can see we've got a nice elevation, but Isaac has anticipated that, and he's trying to switch his legs midair. What that has caused me to do is actually such a powerful switch on the legs that it's separated my hands and we've lost control over that right leg. But what I did was I was to catch a saddle position on the far leg. So as he switched his top leg away from me, which would obviously lead to us to have outside heel hook attacking positions or control positions, he's brought his secondary leg closer, which is really the leg we'd prefer to get. We'd much rather attack the inside heel hook than the outside heel hook. Immediately, as I start to secure that position, I want double leg control. I want to try and use the double leg control to slow him down. I don't want to only have single leg control because it really helps them hide the heel and prevent some of our attacks. So you can see with my right hand here, I'm trying to secure the second leg. Straight away, I cross my feet. We really want to lock down to the leg we want to attack in, which is obviously my opponent's left leg. So we want to cross our feet, lock that down, and look for double leg control. So you can see here we've now landed in the saddle. So what my training partner has anticipated is that saddle position, and obviously he's anticipating an attack on his leg here. So we're looking for that inside heel. You can see me already digging for it, even though it's with one hand. And I can safely dig for it with one hand because I've got control over the secondary leg. But obviously he is experienced in hiding the heel, so he's anticipated that. And you'll see he starts to throw his weight the other way. We almost get a catch on the heel, but he successfully slips that. So you can see here, he's starting to slip the heel. He's going to get his hips high. He's going to start to roll away from me. So as soon as my opponent starts to roll away, I want to really get a base on my head here I want to be on my forehead so my hands are free to start attacking the heel. So you can see I rolled over my forehead. My secondary hand's controlling the Achilles, trying to keep the toes in the armpit. And I believe my training partner here is trying to really separate the feet and roll away, which is what I'd recommend in this position. But we've managed to secure the heel. So what I want you to see here with the finish rep, you can see my reaping leg is flaring hard towards them here. So what that does, that controls their hips, and it also traps their knee pointed towards the sky. If this position was reversed, you would see Isaac's knee pointing towards the sky. When his knee's pointed towards the sky, we're going to get a clean break on his leg. You'll see my hips start to elevate and my weight land on my left shoulder here. And with that, we're going to get a clean break on the heel. So you can see here is a lot of pressure. I really want you to see how heavily I am focused on my upper body weight, securing the heel, and my right knee flaring towards them. That traps the knee to the sky again. If my right knee were to rotate in and pinch towards my other leg, it actually is an inferior control, and Isaac would probably have a greater chance of getting his hips higher and slipping it. Right, again, I want you to immediately notice my shoulders are in front of my hips here. When my shoulders are in front of my hips, I'm sort of controlling this position, and I'm looking to hand fight from here. My opponent's obviously got a good head position here. And again, he's probably got a posture where his head's low, his legs are back. He's definitely very wary of the leg lock. So you see here, what I'm trying to bait here is really, I'm trying to bait a left leg lead knee slice, because I want to play knee shield, preferably on their typically non-preferred passing side, which is people's left leg forward. So you can see as I extend my left leg, I also keep my right knee close to my chest to avoid them getting a clear underhook. I don't want to give them a knee cut where they can take a dominant underhook and pass straight away. So I'm keeping my right leg very, very tight. I really am trying to bait that left knee coming through for the knee cut. So obviously, I don't know if this person is left-handed or right-handed or what their preferred passing side is, but definitely the general population would be prefer to pass right leg forward. So you can see clearly here, I'm trying to bait that left leg knee cut. You see, he went for it. He hesitated because obviously he's probably senses it's a trap. Maybe he knows I prefer to play on that position. So, but what we've achieved is as he's brought that leg a little closer, we've got a reverse De La Riva. As he drops to his knees, that gives me the opportunity to get an underhook on that preferred leg. So this is really the base position I want. This is what I'm looking for against everyone, is to set up for, I'd say 90% of my leg locks from bottom position. I can already tell here the way he's gripping my foot with his left hand. You can see that he's looking for a toe hold. He's looking for a toe hold because he's gripping my toes. So it's a pretty straightforward control here, but I'm actually not too concerned about his toe hold grip because of the positioning of my left arm. Obviously, if we're going to enter a leg lock exchange here, that underhook grip on his leg really gives me the upper hand here, and I should be able to win most of the exchanges. So you can see he's attacking that toe hold straight away, but what he's left is a great toe hold grip for me. So we're in sort of an exchange here. My leg is a little straighter. So if you can see this, if you could see his hands here, obviously not from this angle, my leg is still quite straight. So when he did secure the toe hold grip with his left hand, what he was doing was trying to bend my leg for the catch. But as he dove for it, my leg re-straightened, leaving him with a bent leg. So we're in sort of a shootout here. So he's abandoned the toe hold here. Maybe he's felt the pressure on mine. But obviously that's given me a great position to throw a left leg reap over the top here and really secure down this toe hold position. I definitely would be tentative about blindly shooting 4 toe holds because they're a great berimbolo back take counters. But if we can really lock down the hips, we can finish that without having to worry about getting our back take taken. So you can see here, starting to secure it. I've got a good control on the toes, a good control on my forearm, and I've got a strong reap. And we're able to get the tap here. So really, I'm trying to take his toes towards his butt while keeping a bent leg, and I'm securing the hips here with my legs. If my legs were open here, much greater ability for them to roll out. All right, so I'm really allowing my opponent to enter my legs here. So from a sparring perspective, a learning perspective, I'm trying to see what they're looking to attack. And evidently here I've given him the leg quite easily. He's made a very a good decision here. He's gone to the outside Ashi position. He was throwing both legs outside. And from there, I wouldn't say it's a strong attacking position if my hips are in the air. So he switched and brought my leg inside to the 50-50 guard style position. So a much safer position for attacks and a much better position for them to start attacking inside heel hooks. So obviously the better heel hooking position. Had he left my leg outside, I would have a much greater ability to start looking for back takes or guard passes. So what I want you to see here is I'm dragging my hips away. I'm keeping a straight leg, and I'm turning the top of my foot towards the ground by keeping my foot in sort of a ballerina style pose. If I were to bend my knee at all here, or if I were to bend my ankle, you'd have a much greater ability to catch that inside heel hook. Here we're having a bit of a hand fight here, so I'm able to clear the knee line. I'm not looking to escape the position straight away. I want to stay in this range and start attacking footlooks on myself. So what I'm actually looking for here is somewhat of a back take roll. If I were to keep their right knee inside between my legs, closer to the camera side of my butt, I would have a great chance to berimbolo roll here. But what he has done very well is keep that knee on the other side of my butt towards my head, and that limits my ability to roll through. It increases their ability, as you can see, with the grips to attack an outside heel hook. And immediately he goes straight for that position. He has switched to the reverse X here. So he switched to the reverse X intelligently. My hands are still on the ground. And when my hands are on the ground, that means my upper body's taking a lot of the weight, so my legs are light. So with his reverse X position of his feet, he's going to be able to elevate my hips. If my hands were not on the ground, he would have a bit of trouble trying to put my hands back on the ground with simply the reverse X. If he would have to switch back to an X guard style position to put my hands back on the floor, which he does. The second my hands come off the floor, he goes to the X guard. X guard's much greater chance of putting my hands on the floor, which he does. And as soon as he does that, he switches back to the outside position. So you see here, I'm trying to look for a back take. My left hand's going to reach for the far hip. My right hand thumb is going to reach inside their right knee. But he's changed strategy here. Again, he's inverted through. He's trying to use it to sweep and come on top. He left himself open to a knee bar here, and I've been able to pull it back to 50-50. So here you can see there's a bit of a problem with the 50-50 guard position. When we look to finish heel hooks flat on our back, as I'm trying to do here, we're much too close, and it gives them the ability to fight our hands or sometimes fight our head. And when they can control either of those two positions, we can't use our hips effectively. So I abandon the position. Now we've entered a bit of a shootout here. So I'm trying to turn inside here. I'm trying to separate the legs and turn onto my right hip, because what I want is my right knee to come from their head side of their legs back through the middle to the floor. If I were able to get my legs back through the middle and onto the floor, I would not be susceptible to an inside heel hook on my right leg, because my knee would not be above their hips. It would be outside their hips. And from that position, you might feel a bit of ankle pressure, but you would not feel strong pressure on the knee. He has decided to switch back to outside position, which is interesting. He likes the position of the outside, but he doesn't really attack the outside heel hook from there. So what he did very well there was the second I got my hips elevated again, he switched back to 50-50. When he plays that outside leg position as he does, and I get my hips high, he really loses his ability to attack outside heel hooks effectively, and he leaves himself open to back takes, passes, or counter leg locks. What I was trying to do there is look to stack his hips high and attack the back, but he effectively took me off my base and put my butt back on the floor. Which again, when we're looking for leg locks on each other here, not a problem. And as I've sat back, I've been able to secure the heel here So we'll jump back a little bit. So what I want you to see here is my leg central to the chest, and he's looking to attack outside, inside heel hook. So he can choose here. You can see he could push it to his right side and attack an inside heel hook, or he could leave it on his left side and attack an outside. He's left it on the outside, looking to attack an outside heel hook position. But you can see what he's done here is as he's separated his feet, and I've helped him separate his feet with my right hand, he's left his right heel floating in my hips here. So what I do is I immediately secure the heel hook grip. But you can see with my leg position, I don't have great control of the hips. So potentially he's going to be able to roll away straight away. But the second I put weight into that foot, we're able to secure the heel. So I don't have a great control of his hips here. He could potentially turn to his right over his right shoulder if he's really testing himself here. But I'm pinching my knees together as best I can to stay attached until that moment comes. But obviously, safe training partner here, he decides to tap as soon as I get a good grip around the heel. All right, guys, let's look at the next match. All right, so almost a double guard pull position. Again, baiting their leg attack to try and enter leg attacks of my own. So he's broken his posture here, so we're looking for that Choi bar style arm bar. So basically you could use a gable grip or a butterfly grip on the shoulder. My right knee there is heavy on their upper back, trying to keep their posture broken. The easiest way for them to break this grip is to get their head above their hips towards the sky and rip their arm out. That would allow them to straighten their arm and pull it out. But obviously in this sparring match where I'm trying to engage the legs, so if they were to posture up and rip that arm out, it wouldn't bother me too much because it would give me a clear path, grip exchange to the near leg, that right leg. You can see what he's doing very well here. He knows that if I were to attack the arm, I would have to get my right leg over their back and around inside here. So you can see his grip with the left hand on the toes is proving difficult for me to get my leg over the top. You guys can just see my toes of my left leg here. What I'm doing with that is I'm trying to hook their far leg so we can't back step over clearly and start to run around. Because obviously, if you were to get around both my legs, my grip would no longer be useful. We could probably turn that into a good crossface. So obviously, I was able to get my leg over the top, but given how the postures had changed and he had conceded bottom position, I utilized that just to accept a sweep. So he was trying to use the single leg X guard to come back on top, but my right hand gripping the tricep there of his left arm is pulling my weight back over the top of him. And what you can't see is my right toes are really extended, hooking that shoulder here. So both of those grips are pulling my weight back over the top. When he was able to off balance me and start sending my weight back, my left hand controlled his right leg. And with that pulling towards the sky, I was able to keep him flat on his back here. So what I was trying to do there was use my left hand to push on his left leg and high step out of there, really bring my leg to the sky and high step / back step backwards. But he was able to secure control of my second leg, making the back step impossible. Again, using that tricep to pull myself deeper here, maintaining top position. He's doing a very good job of keeping my weight on my hands and controlling my second leg, which again makes it very difficult for me to high step out. But obviously in this position, I'm not too worried about the sweeping option here because what I'm actually trying to do is get any sort of counter grip on his legs to attack leg locks of my own. So in that position, I sort of considered the sweep. We're getting pretty close to the wall there. Plus, happy to work off my back again here and start showing some of the Z-guard. So what's key here is if they try and move around my Z-guard to the other side to force me to play guard on the other side or potentially enter a leg drag or straight pass. I keep my right leg glued to my chest and I place my right hand on their left shoulder. So in that last frame there, you'll see my right hand keeps me square, keeps their weight back on the other side. And me bringing that right knee to my chest obviously minimizes their ability to get any sort of underhook. There. Where as soon as we square back up, I control 2-on-1s. I always control 2-on-1s because it limits my opponent's ability to surprise me or move quickly. Usually they want to address those grips before they progress. So 2-on-1s really against a fast opponent slow them down. My left leg hook in their far leg here is really blocking that back step pass, but you can see he has a good grip on my knee shield leg. So the right leg there, the right shin, his grip on that is really increasing the effectiveness of his back step pass here. So my knee shield has managed to come back in. It's in front of the bicep and shoulder, not in front of the upper body, but that's still a strong frame. And I'm able to slip my right hand back in front. Again, obviously he's worried about leg locks. He's keeping his posture very, very low, looking to run around my legs or back step. On this side, it would be the other side. As you can see, I've managed to secure the underhook on that near side leg here. So what that gives me is the ability to start pulling their weight back over the top. And you can see my right hand here on the lap. That is also a grip. So what I'm trying to do with those two grips is I'm slightly on my left side. I want to use those to pull myself flat to my back and bring them back onto their hands and their weight over the top of me here. I was able to do that. And you can see their hands are coming towards his hands are coming towards the ground here. My underhook grip has slipped down to the leg and I've thrown a reap over the top. As soon as he touches the ground, I avoid the outside heel hook battle and bring that leg back to the inside. Because again, I'd much prefer to attack the inside heel hook than the outside. The heel exposure came immediately as I brought that foot to the other side. And obviously you can see I'm starting to put upper body weight on that leg and cautiously he's looking to tap probably at the right time here. The chance of the heel slip is very minimal. All right, so this is a common strategy opponents have to deal with leg lockers, is really get down low, hips to the ground low on their knees, head low, looking to get under my hips. So probably from here, this pass is looking to attack over-under passes or double unders and getting my hips high. So yeah, you can see definitely very evasive grappling here, very cautious grappling, head low. It really looks like he's using his left hand and right underhook to try and stack me, to get my hips high off the ground. I try and keep a good hand fight, try and get 2-on-1s back to put their grips in danger and keep my hips on the ground. I don't want my hips to elevate at any point here. That's when they really start to utilize this pass effectively. So you'll see this is a problem for me attacking evasive grapplers in this position, grapplers that aren't going to engage in any risky way, but that's fine. I keep pressing, I keep looking for reactions. My left hand was able to underhook that right arm. So that could turn into a meaningful grip. I could go gable, I could go butterfly, I could start looking to attack that arm. Or really, I can force reactions. If my opponent's not giving me any reactions that I'm looking for, I just keep essentially pressing them, sending them in different directions, looking to see if there's any vulnerabilities here, trying to use less energy than they are. So I'm looking to attack that arm here, but obviously you can see my hips are far and they've got good posture. If their posture is good, that arm attack there is going to be a minimal risk to them. So we had managed to eventually secure a stronger grip, only because my opponent brought his head down for me and connected his hands, obviously fighting a very strong grip. What I've tried to do here is attack a reverse triangle on that far side. So we have managed to secure the legs, but he has squared me back up. He's put my hips back on the floor. So we've entered back to a closed guard position. Still trying to threaten the arm here. If I threaten the arm in the posture and they give me access to the legs, that's going to be a good strategy. So he's kindly moved us back to the middle. So again, same strategy from closed guard really. If I can underhook that leg, we can start to get underneath him and attack the legs, right? So same for me from Z or from closed guard. I'm really looking to get an underhook grip. Obviously, you can see I heavily favor attacking with my left arm underhook, no matter what position we're in. So what my opponent did here was he was overly concerned with the underhook grip on the legs here. So we'll go back a little bit. And we've got this hand fight here. So we get an underhook on the legs. So what he thinks the best option would be is to separate my feet here. So he might be trying to separate my feet to posture and pass, or he might even be trying to bait me to attack the triangle because he doesn't like breaking legs, breaking past the closed guard in any other way. So you can see that hand comes back. I've still got the underhook on the leg, so he does still have to worry about the leg locks. But that obviously gives me a very easy triangle. So when we're in this triangle position here, and this is something that quite often happens against opponents that are very cautious of the leg locks, they end up giving me something else, something a bit simpler, a bit more traditional. He's doing a very good job of keeping his left arm elbow on the outside of my hips. That's going to make the triangle choke a bit difficult. But I'm going to be patient. I'm not squeezing too hard. I'm just trying to work my angles here. So I'm trying to cut across without conceding his posture. That right arm on my shin is going to control the posture. My left arm under his far arm, or even working an overhook on that far arm, is going to help me cut an angle. So I'm really trying to bring that arm across here, bringing everything in tight, and we get the tap. But again, he had quite good triangle choke defense. All right, so our next opponent here. So again, great 2-on-1 by my opponent there. I'm obviously reaching too far with my right leg, and he's used that to try and rip it past and run around my legs. But again, straight away, I'm going to grip fight that. You can see that my right hand on his left arm, strong grip fight. I'm looking to bring my right knee back to my chest to close any space for an underhook while still baiting the pass for them to pass with their left leg forward. He's able to secure an underhook and trying to force me back to obviously his preferred side of passing. But with that high knee shield leg there, we can force him back onto his right side. So you can see he's stapled the inside of my legs here, but that's not a problem because I've sent his weight quite far that way. And you can see we're able to clear that staple and bait towards a Z guard. So again, he's got a very good posture. You see how low his shoulder. He's actually beaten my knee shield. But obviously he's beaten the knee shield, but it doesn't have anywhere near chest-to-chest pressure. So we're still pretty safe here. If you could see what my hands were doing, I would be fighting his right up. I'm using 2-on-1s to try and keep that arm away from me. And again, we've brought that knee shield back in. What I want you to see is he's done a very good job up until this point of keeping his right leg in front and tight to my bottom leg there, my left leg. And that's shuts down my hips quite a bit, makes it hard for me to attack from this position. But again, in doing so, he's giving me a grip with my left hand here. So again, the left arm underhook, attacking that right leg. I'm using my top knee shield leg to kick their weight over the top. And I'm trying to invert underneath. So I'm flat on my back. I've got an underhook on the far leg, and my knee shield leg has dragged them over. And if you can just see the top of my right hand here, it's a frame in the back of the lat. That keeps them from, again, getting chest to chest. We're keeping elbows inside here. If you could see the other angle, you'd probably see my right elbow meeting my left knee. And that's giving us the ability to invert and start attacking a reap here. So against an opponent like this, quite strong opponent, I'm going to secure the reap. a more traditional style leg lock position and cross my feet because I want to lock him down any way I can. So we've started attacking. We've got the reap here. We've attacked the toe hold to get him rolling, and that's given me a leg lock position. So the toe hold's quite hard to get a tap in and of itself, but if we can use the toe hold to get our opponent moving, we can start to attack the knee bar on that side. All right, we've got our next opponent here. So straight away, he passes low. He's straight back up, looking to grip fight, looking to get outside my right leg. So I'm being a bit lazy here. My right knee's not close enough to my chest. But a little grip on the lat here, right under the armpit, is a strong grip to pull my opponent back into Z. You can see his head positioning is blocking my knee from being in the position I prefer. So I'm trying to stay attached to him with my right hand here over my knee shield. Again, same thing again. When my opponent posture is low, cautiously blocking leg lock exchanges, we look to attack the opposite arm. If we can attack that arm and bait that arm, whether we get it or not, we might get a significant attack out of there. But again, if that bait gives us a good posture, the posture is where we attack the legs. So straight away, he's postured up. He's avoiding any sort of exchange with that arm. And that gives us our preferred position of getting an underhook on the far leg and starting to invert. What he's doing good is bringing his left leg high, trying to kick out. And he does that effectively here. That does give me a straight ankle lock grip on that position. And we can start to roll back through for the saddle. But he's very evasive with his legs, starts backing up, does a good job. Here's where strategy comes into play against, an opponent that's has what I think is a weak bottom position. I would use the leg lock exit he did here to come on top. But again, here we're trying to look for leg locks. So double guard pull's fine for me. I'm happy to work from him. So he's looking to attack the outside heel hook or the outside position. And I'm looking to use his right leg cross body here. You can see I'm probably thinking about throwing my left leg over. But sometimes we don't want to go for it too quick. And our opponent bails out completely and avoids the exchange. Sometimes you have to give them a false sense of security in this position, but they happily engage the legs. So we've done a quick jump and switch here. So I'm trying to make my opponent think I'm looking to attack an outside. And what I'm actually doing is looking to attack the inside on the other side. So if we go back a couple frames. All right. So if I were able to free my left leg here, you'll see I'll be able to do that, to use that to backstep, right? But you can see my right arm grip on his right leg. He's going to assume that I'm looking for an attack on that side and start to forget about the positioning of his left leg, which is vulnerable to an inside heel hook. So you can see here, all I want to do is make them think that I'm attacking that right leg. And what they're going to do is try and pull that leg back towards them, almost knee to chest. And when they do that, that natural reaction is with the left leg to start to extend forward. So you can see here, I don't have anything on the right side. But the tighter I grip that leg, the more they think I might have something. And again, that natural reaction, when you pull your right leg back, your left leg's going to slowly drift forward. I'm using a post with my left hand here to shoot my hips back. Once I've used that post, I switch to my forehand and replace my arm with my forehead as a post and use that grip reaching back through to the far knee to pull that into place and slide my knee behind their knee. So what was a position where they were worried about the wrong leg has now become a clear entry onto the opposite leg. So you can see here, we've secured a bite on the heel, right? And I'm holding onto the knee. I want to prevent them rolling away. If you can get his hips high here, it's going to cause problems for me. You can see I've got a heel exposure. I've got weight on the heel. But if they were to get their hips high, give that ballerina foot position and continue to roll, I don't think I'd be able to hang on. So what I'm trying to do is hold onto the knee and get some good foot positioning with my right leg here and get a cross-body reap. So you can see I've thrown it in, and that heavy pressure with the reap is trying to keep them on their butt here. What I'm doing, he's looking to turn in. So turning into the heel hook is risky. But if I were to be too relaxed here on my back, he could potentially slip the knee out. So what I think he's trying to do with his right hand is separate my feet and try and pull his left knee towards his left hand. If his left knee cleared my hips, I would lose the pressure on the knee. Maybe have a little bit of ankle pressure, but nothing significant. And when he feels he can't get that knee clear, he gives me the tap. So you can see I'm using somewhat of a butterfly grip here. If I'm ever finishing flat on my back here, which is probably non-preferred, but sometimes we end up being stuck here, I'm going to always use a butterfly grip because it's much greater control on the heel. All right, so this is the 8th training partner here. So again, you can see adopting a very, very low posture, trying to avoid me getting underneath here. Good grip on the left with the left hand on my hip here, but my right knee is still in between. So again, same principle I always do. I'm always going to look to attack that arm to try and get some posture out of him and get a better position. What he is doing well though is with his left leg stapling my bottom leg here. That's going to limit my hip movement. So he's really got good control of my hips here with that left hand and that left leg. He's able to step around my body, but I've got 2 hands framed. So definitely be a double frame on the neck and right shoulder. So it's giving me some space to bring my knees back through. Again, so he's taken his left hand and he's come under the knee shield. That can be a bit of a problem for certain attacks from here, but what it's given me is the ability to secure with my bottom leg, my left leg, a knee shield position. So we're halfway there. And there we go, we're able to secure the knee shield position. But again, low posture. So straight away, I'm going to be attacking that far arm. We get some posture. As soon as I posture up, I go straight under that far leg. So again, that's the game. We attack the far arm. Either we get it or they posture. If they posture, we can get under that leg here. So you can see my knee shield again. I'm going to be trying to kick their weight over. There we go, a little bit of an inversion. So obviously when my right knee shield can't shift their weight far enough, I'm going to throw 2 hands onto that far leg. It's going to give us a solid grip. You can see my right knee here. My knee shield leg is switched cross body. It's going to push their face. And now we're looking to push them the other way. And my bottom leg here is swinging further through. If I can bring that through and shift their weight towards the left corner of the room there, I can start to attack maybe an outside heel position. So straight away, double leg control, and we're bringing their leg cross body. So here, securing a bit of a straight ankle lock position as I'm trying to bring it to 50-50. Good evasive technique, separating the feet, looking for a footlock of his own. But again, ordinarily here, depending on the opponent, I would use this to sweep if I thought they had a weak guard game. But if we're looking for legs and my opponent's able to play double guard ball, this is a great position to be in. So again, we're having a bit of a leg lock shootout here. So he's very good at getting his hips high and turning. But what that has given me here, let's go back a step round. All right, so what I've been able to secure, let's go back a little further. You can see this is basically a form of a saddle here. So we've got a reap. So it's a tough angle here because we're so close to the camera, but my right leg is reaping. My left foot is underneath, and I'm trying to chase the heel, but you can see he's very intelligent getting his hips high, turning away, he's hiding that heel. It's a common problem now. Once upon a time, getting the saddle position against most opponents, then the match was over. Now people are getting very good at escaping this position, so we have to come up with new ideas. So instead of rolling over my forehead, I'm going to try and roll over my shoulders, like an entry to 50-50, just a different angle here. So you can see here, instead of rolling over my forehead, I tuck my head and roll over my shoulders and switch to somewhat of a 50-50 position. It's something unexpected, and it's a different look to chase the opponent down. So my left leg's come cross body, and it's going to look to secure a 50-50 position. It's a great counter to the running man style escape where their hips are high and they're looking to get away from us. You can see it's giving me a little bit of penetration on the heel, but I've actually missed the heel hook here. But I can re-secure it. So when sometimes when you miss the heel hook, you have to go to this reverse style grip. So you can see my right hand's come back under the heel. Let's grab my left bicep. We get a bit tighter grip on it. My feet are secured very tightly, crossed, pulling towards my butt, and I'm hipping into the knee here. All right. All right. So we're up to our next opponent now. So again, what I'm doing is I'm basically reaching with my left leg, framing with my right arm, and keeping my right knee as close to my chest as possible. Trying to bait, again, the cross knee, try and bait him into that Z guard. So reaching for that far leg here again. Unable to reach it. Isaac doing very well with keeping my bottom leg underneath his leg, so really stapling here. But he's baited the triangle trick here, so let's look at that exchange, right? So we're coming back. So this is what happens quite often when people are overly cautious to the leg locks. If they keep their head low, if they allow me to get my right hand on their armpit, you can see I'm already playing with that left grip on the wrist. So that's when they keep that hand back, they keep it away from me. That gives me the triangle choke. So I want you to visualize if that left hand was lower to the ground and securing my bottom leg, the triangle choke wouldn't be there, but we'd have the Kimura and we'd have that armbar attack. When they keep that arm back, they keep it in a dangerous zone for triangles. And you can see he's kept it out of the way, able to give me the triangle choke now. So again, there's always something, some vulnerability from this position. See, his left arm was under my back here, making the triangle choke difficult. So I did a little bit of an attack on the far arm to give you the angle back here, controlling the elbow on the wrist. All right, so hand fighting, posture, head and shoulders in front of my hips here. So that's key here. That's a great posture. Limit their ability to push me back before I'm ready for them to. Reaching for the legs. He's able to put me on my back, but as he does, my left leg falls in between. So again, he doesn't take the bait. He didn't in the last row, didn't in this one, but he gives me the reverse De La Riva. So no threat at all here. I think he probably knows that, probably just looking for a reaction. I wouldn't worry about any sort of rip like that here. So switching the reverse De La Riva grip to underneath, that's a much better heel hooking grip. Scoop grip means we can scoop our opponent's legs and try and put their butt back on the ground. But he is controlling my secondary leg, which is again, that's going to be good control, limit my ability to freely use that leg to attack his. But I was able to secure double leg control. So we can't block everything. You can either block my my secondary leg or block my hand and strip that grip. And now I'll be able to put him on his butt, but when he comes back up, he's deep in the Z guard. And again, looking for that same toe hold grip he did last time. So he's making it very obvious what he's doing. We've got the underhook on the leg. We bring that cross body. And what I'm doing here, what's key here is what limits his ability to switch out and take my back is that I'm controlling his toes. I'm pulling his knee towards the floor and his toes towards the sky. So where it looks like he could switch out here and take my back, that grip's going to put a lot of pressure on his knee. And with that grip, we're able to secure what I'm reaching for is the saddle, but it's more knee bar pressure here. So actually, it's funny is you hear my toes will crack here, but you can see I've got a very strong knee bar position. He does have a good counter of the toe hold here, but I'd rather pop my ankle than my knee. So again, a bit of a shootout here. All right, so we're coming in for another opponent right now. So here, 2-on-1, reach with the left, bring the right knee to my chest. He's giving me a reverse De La Riva. So when they don't take the bait for the Nico, we take the reverse De La Riva. That leg's always going to be there. Frame on the shoulder to keep space. I'm just talking some smack here. All right, so we got a reverse De La Riva position, looking to revert underneath. And switch back to the saddle position here. He does good this time of trying to keep his knee clear. But I'm using my right hand as a scoop grip to pull his knee back into place, but in doing so, I've neglected my reaping leg, my right leg, and he separated my feet and stripped his leg out of there. So I try and shoot back to the legs here, but quite lazily. So not taking the cross knee bait again, but giving me the reverse De La Riva. He's blocking the inside grip. But we can use that to put him on his butt here. Pull his ankle higher, turn his knees out. I'm trying to invert through and attack that leg, but he's able to secure the leg drag position. We put him on his butt. So this is very similar to what we did before. I'm pretending to attack that outside leg, but he's more wise to it this time and gives me a leg drag here. So let's look at that again. So we'll go back slowly. So we come up as if we're going to attack a leg drag, but I'm going to fall back to attack the heel here. I'm controlling the knee to slow their ability to hide the heel, and my left leg's coming cross body to catch a read. I'm trying to bring it through, but he's done a good job of blocking it. You can see my right foot is elevating his far leg, which is going to make it difficult for him to turn and hide the heel. And I've got a solid grip on that inside leg. I'm able to throw the secondary leg over to momentarily block the hips, and you can see his leg is very vulnerable here to catching the heel. So we secure the heel hook. My legs aren't separated, but my knees are pinching together. He taps here, just to be safe. Obviously, it's training. Had this not been training, I still would have been out of control of the hips here. What I could do is either throw my left leg up and around, cross body, and cross my feet behind his butt, or really I could just throw my right leg over and cross over both. But we've still got good penetration on the heel, good amount of weight on that foot. We can finish the heel hook. So immediately to the knees, head low. This is a very common defense to me, getting underneath and attacking the legs. So I'm hand fighting here. I accidentally need him in the face there, so apologies for that when he watches this later. All right. So we're able to secure our Z-gut. Again, we're attacking that arm. He's got low posture. We've got to attack that arm, threaten the arm. He brings the knee up. We go back to reverse De La Riva, and we start to invert underneath. I'm straight away, once I'm underneath, looking to control the second leg. It's a great sweeping position here. We could push him forward, push him on the hands, and start to come up, secure the sweep or the back. But see, we're attacking the legs here. So what I've done is bring my inside leg deep. It's too deep right now. My left leg is too deep. I prefer my knee on the other side of the leg, so towards the wall. To come close to my body, that means we're engaging more of a knee bar position. So he has probably encouraged that to happen. But again, I'm maintaining double leg control. We cross, we lock him down, we want to secure this position. It's basically a 50-50 guard, but I've crossed my feet the other way. So my left leg's framed against the hip. We use the toe hold bait to go for the knee bar from here. And that's giving me the inside heel hook here. So obviously we continually threaten different submissions until one of them comes through. He does a great job here. All right. So look, I'm attacking the toe hold. To defend the toe hold, he extends his leg, which means his hips fall to the floor. That gives me a shot here on that secondary leg. You can see I'm looking for the knee bar here. He does a great job rolling through, rebending his leg. But his mistake here is when he stands, he bends his knee. What he should do is extend his right leg straight and keep the side of his foot towards the floor. But he does not do that because he bends his knee. It gives me an easy heel exposure. And we get the heel hook, starting to turn onto my left hip to finish. So we're continually following up one submission with the other and hoping that one of them breaks through. All right. So this time, hips high, head low though. Feet far away. Another strategy to defend the legs, but he does come straight into my Z. Hips roll to the ground, head low, we attack that arm. I'm trying to take any sort of grip on that I can. 2-on-1s here, and gives me the underhook on the legs. We pull him up, push it up, and I've come back through for more of a 50-50 guard style position and drag the leg cross body, really securing tight here. He's trying to bring his weight back over the top. Really, I think if I didn't have control of his secondary leg, he should be turning back towards the wall there, opposite us, and starting to hide the heel and turn away. But he comes crossbody. You can see his knees heading towards the floor. This is a mistake here. And he gives me a little bit of a bite on the heel. Right there. But he slipped it. Obviously, it's slippery in these positions. Can be hard to keep the heel. Obviously, this is maybe the 11th or 12th roll. Sometimes it can be hard to secure the heel, especially against a floating opponent. So he slipped it, but ultimately what that's given me is 50-50 guard where I can continue to attack his heels. What I do here is my 50-50 leg, my right leg here. So I don't want that floating on top of his hips. I want to pull that towards the floor. When that's on the floor, even if my heel was floating, he could attack a heel hook, but there would only be pressure on my ankle. If my knee was above his legs on top of his hips, he could use his hips to generate pressure and attack me. So this is the position I prefer to attack from. What he does here is he builds a base. What he should be doing is hiding the heel and rolling over his left shoulder first, then his right shoulder, extending his leg straight and extending his toes. But by coming up the angle he does, he gives me a great heel exposure, and we get the tap. But again, he cleared the first heel hook, but gave up position, and then gave me the second heel hook in the 50-50 guard. So again, this passer was very strong, very low head, trying to get underneath here. So his strategy this time is really to try and throw my legs above my head, get my hips high. So what I'm really trying to do is get any sort of hand frame against his shoulders, push my shoulders back on the ground and get my hips back towards the floor. Stepping outside. So he thinks about a straight ankle lock here. He wants to fall back for a straight ankle lock. And if I react to that, I think he's going to come back through for the leg drag, which remember he does, which is a great strategy. Obviously, the more worried people are about your straight ankle lock, the better that's going to work. Some people just do not care about straight ankle lock pressure. So we're head to head here. He's got a low posture. Very evasive grappler. Hand fire. Trying to bait him into the Z, accepts the Z. He brings his hand through to pummel. But I'm keeping my knee in front, looking to attack that arm. Clears the grip, backs up. So we're really hand fighting here. If you grasp my head, I strip the grip, I look for 2-on-1s. Every time he clears my 2-on-1, I secure a 2-on-1 on the far side, the other side. But he's managed to win the grip exchange, get under my legs. Actually, very close to a pass here. Had he elevated my hips higher, he would have secured the pass. But he's having a lot of trouble getting my hips towards the sky because I'm framing like his hips or his upper body. He's using a lot of energy here trying to elevate my hips. So if I can stay safe and let him gas himself out a little bit here, quite happy to do that. I got my left foot back in front of him on his shoulders here, and I was able to use that to push against his body and get my hips back, bring us back to a neutral position. So we get an elevation there. I try and break his posture with the head, like a snap down, almost like a wrestling snap down. He reacts to that, brings his head high to the sky, and my butterfly hook goes a bit of an elevation. I do control the far leg, double leg control, right? And we get a little bit of a heel hook penetration here. So you can see I'm sitting on top here. I'm riding the hips. I'm not falling to either side immediately. Trying to get in between his legs here. I'm trying to separate the feet. I roll over the top. Separate the feet. What he did incorrectly there was when we rolled, he should have tried to accelerate and roll away from me, but he tried to float on top of my hips. You can see that gave me a great heel exposure, and we can get an easy finish. Most of these guys tap safely before I have to apply more pressure, and that means we get a tap where I'm flat on my back. But realistically, I want to be finishing on either hip. All right, that's the another opponent. We're on to our next opponent here. He's pulled guard both times, comes straight into single X. That's not a problem. He goes for the reverse X. What he does very well, use the X and reverse X to keep me on my hands. Secures the outside position. Again, looking to drag it cross-body to 50-50. Great strategy here. I'm trying to keep my hips high, my legs facing away, trying to attack the back here. And what he's given me is a heel exposure. So let's go back and look at that. All right, so we're going to be very careful here. When I'm turning away, if they open their legs, you can see he's leaving his heel floating right on my hips there. I'm able to secure a grip. I get two hands on it straight away to keep it secure while we're floating, and I try to put weight on it immediately. He hand fights it here. From 50-50, I'm going to finish on my shoulder, not flat on my back. Previously, when we finished flat on our back, he was able to hand fight free. This time, I leave my foot floating and I use my left leg to come over and sort of get some distance between us to secure the heel. I'm not worried about my foot here because I've got such a great bite on his. If he were to abandon ship and attack mine, my finishing position would be much stronger because I got weight behind the heel. My other leg clears it and we get the tap. All right, for the last training partner, he's come straight into Z-guard. We've baited the firearm attack, causing elevation with the posture, which has given me access to an underhook on the far leg. With this access to the underhook on the far leg, I'm going to secure, cross my feet here and keep control over that far leg and see where he looks to take it. What he's giving me is a toe hold here as he tries to clear his right knee. He's trying to bring his right knee through. Once we've cleared that knee control, I wouldn't be able to apply any more pressure, but I let go of the toe hold, secure that knee, and pull that back into place and really lock my feet down here. Because his knee's on the floor, he's giving me a really strong toe hold position. He's trying to use his secondary leg to kick out, but it's too late at this point. And we get the tap. All right, guys. So against most of the training partners today, I was looking to find safe ways to bait them into the Z-guard. And from the Z-guard, depending on their posture, attacking upper body attacks and then switching to lower body attacks. Obviously using the upper body attacks to bait their posture. And if their posture is securing an underhook on that far leg to either cause an elevation or come underneath them. And from there, we're able to secure a broad range of leg attacks. All right, so that was really the basic strategy today in all 16 of those rounds.